You have two options to create an assessment in Illuminate. First, go ahead and click on Assessments and create a new assessments. Alternatively, you can click on Create a New Assessment here. Once you've clicked here, you can go ahead and click on Item Bank and then click on OK. If you've never been to the Item Bank before, this page will pop up. Go ahead and click here to sign up. This will automatically populate with your email and your first name as well as your last name. You will need to provide a password. If you wish, you can provide the same password that you use for your mylusd.org account. And then go ahead and click Sign Up. You should see this screen next. For the assessment standard mode, this is when you can go ahead and select the standards. We're going to focus on the assessment quick mode today. This will actually allow you to type in the standards. It will automatically populate the standards for you in a test. The great thing is it will also allow you to regenerate the questions if you don't want the same questions. Then go ahead and click on Next. Here you want to add an assessment name. I'm going to do a 4th grade test for geometry. You want to select the academic year. The reason you do want to populate these fields down here is it will make it easier for you when you are searching for it later at a later date. Then go ahead and click Continue. Here you want to select your standards. You want to go ahead and go down to California Common Core Content Standards. The subject, this was math, and I know I wanted that to be 4th grade. And here you can see the standards have populated. If you come in here, it may actually look like this, or even this, or even this. You can go ahead and expand them. Okay? I know that I want geometry. I'm going to expand that even more. Okay? And for this standard, I'm going to further expand. I know I wanted to do a quiz for G1, of which there are 177 items. I click on that, it says selected, and I wanted G2, there are 151 items. And if I scroll back up the top, you can see that I have asked for defaults to 5. You can go ahead and change this if you want. If you put in the wrong standard, you can delete it. But I want 5 for G1. I want 5 for G1 and G2. So go ahead and click Continue. Now this page may or may not be relevant to you immediately. If you haven't created any tests, it won't be relevant and you can go ahead and click Continue. But for future tests, if you're creating a quiz and you've already created a quiz on those same standards, as you can see here, I did a previous one on math geometry, I can add this test up here and it would exclude anything that's on this quiz from this new one that I'm making. So it's kind of a cool way to not repeat any of the same items. But I'm going to go ahead and click Continue. Once I'm here, I'm going to click Generate Questions for All Standards. And then I can see that I have standards, okay, and questions. So here's my first question. It's a multiple choice. Here's where it will tell you the type of question it is. And you can see it will have the answer in green. It will explain why an answer is incorrect. Okay. Here's another one. I continue on. And there's my 5. If I scroll all the way down, I can see here that I want to see my second standard. I can go ahead and show those questions as well. Okay, so again, they're all multiple choice questions. There are also some explicit constructive response, which is also known as fill in the blank. Let's say I don't like this question. I can go ahead right over here and click Regenerate. What it will do is it will make me another question. If I don't like that, I can go ahead and keep regenerating. If I don't like any of the questions for that particular standard, I can go ahead and regenerate the entire standard. Now, of course, this is limited to how many questions are in the item bank, and it is also limited to if you've used some previously. So I look through my test and I decide these are the ones that I want. I'm good with those. I'm going to click on Ready to Publish. This is nice because it shows me that I have 1 low question, 8 medium, and 1 high question for my test. Gets into my depth of knowledge, Bloom's taxonomy, my SBAC claims targets, and item types. So I do have 10 that are multiple choice. Okay. Over here I can also see an overview of my test. Now I'm ready to publish and administer this test. Once I click on this, it will take me back to Illuminate, because remember, I'm in the item bank now, so I'm going to go back to Illuminate. Here's my test name, and what I need to do to make this available for my students is to click Add Quick Roster. You can see that generates that code. Just like we do for the online benchmarks, there's the code that you would give your students to log in to Illuminate with this code. It will take them to this test. Before you do that, you need to make sure you set your date window and your time window. So go ahead and click on Edit. Now I want the test to open today at, actually this will open tomorrow at 8:45. School starts at 8:45 a.m. And I want it to, again, about a week later. Okay, again, you can set those dates as any way you want. Now here you want to do your time of day. If this is all day, it will do it all day, which would include after school, before school, anytime. So if you want a daily window, let's say, for example, this is a math test, so I want it to take place after lunch, so 12:30 to 3. Okay? If I need a time limit for the test, and also pauses. Pauses give the students the ability, let's say they started on one day, but they need to finish it the next day, and you can change that number. And go ahead and click on Save. And this test is now ready for students to take, provided you give them the access code and they use their student ID and their access code to take the test. If you want to preview the assessment, which some teachers like to do, like to project and show students how to use it, you can go ahead and click on Preview Assessment. Just go ahead and click Preview, and students would begin the test, and then they will see the questions and you can put the answers in. And that's all there is to creating a quick assessment in the item bank.